Live from WTVO 17 and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
Days after he was pulled from the chilly waters of the Rock River, a young child passes away. Investigators continue to look into how this could happen.
An Eyewitness News reporter rolls up his sleeve for the COVID vaccine. We'll have Dylan Srocki's live reaction to receiving the dose.
And place your bets. Wisconsin's governor approves plans for a casino in Beloit, adding another gambling option along I-90. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. We have an update to that 2-year-old boy who fell into the Rock River.
2 days after he was pulled from the water, investigators say the child has passed away. Monday, first responders were called to the river where it took several minutes to find the boy. Paramedics immediately began life-saving measures and rushed the child to the hospital. He was later transferred to Madison, where he died this morning. The Winnebago County Sheriff's Department continues to investigate the case.
The number of people getting vaccinated in Illinois keeps climbing.
This week, vaccines open to higher education staff, government workers, and members of the media. Our own Dylan Srocki rolled up his sleeve for Johnson & Johnson's single dose this afternoon. He joins us live from the Winnebago County Health Department now. And Dylan, how does it feel to be vaccinated?
Now, Martell reminds everybody to keep...
Well, Eric and Mimi, I received the vaccine just about an hour ago here at the Winnebago County Health Department, and so far, so good. My arm is a little bit sore, but no other ill effects so far. Now, like you mentioned, media is part of the newest eligibility requirements. Next Monday, even more jobs will become eligible for the shot, including food and beverage workers and religious leaders. As vaccines become more widely available, Winnebago County Health Administrator Dr. Sandra Martell says it's important to keep your vaccination card safe, especially if you're taking a vaccine that requires a second dose. Martell suggests taking a picture of your card after you receive it in case of emergency.
Please treat your vaccine record card as if you would a passport, a driver's license, or your Social Security. The number of individuals who are telling us that they've lost their cards, that they've, misplaced them, that they ran them through the washing machine. At this time, we are not authorized to reissue cards.
Coming up tonight at 6, we'll hear more from Dr. Martell about the importance of why it's important to keep your vaccination card safe. For now, reporting live in Rockford for your home team, I'm Dylan Srocki. Back to you in the studio.
Dylan, thanks for that live report.
Dylan and Governor J.B. Pritzker have something in common today. The governor also received his single-dose COVID-19 shot. He rolled up his sleeve at the Illinois State Fairgrounds in Springfield. The governor says he's pleased with the progress being made on the vaccine front in Illinois, and more shipments of Johnson & Johnson vials will be on the way soon.
March 29th is a date after which the federal government has said we're going to start to see more and more Johnson & Johnson vaccine coming to the state, and that will allow us to significantly increase the number of vaccines given per day.
State health officials say more than 5 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine have been administered in Illinois, and they report the state's 7-day testing positivity rate is 2.8%.
More vaccines available and more Illinoisans qualifying for the shot is a stark contrast to the rising COVID positivity rate this time last year.
That number has somewhat stabilized across Illinois, but Michelle Rave joins us with more on a state line county with recent rising numbers. Michelle?
Lee County is currently having a spike in new COVID-19 cases, even getting the county on the state's warning list. I spoke with the Lee County Health Department to find out why the numbers are so high right now.
We've been seeing our cases climb over the last several weeks. In fact, it's increased so significantly that we will be placed back on the state's warning list next week.
Lee County leads the state right now in number of new COVID cases at 231 per 100,000.
It's so disconcerting because we were so close, it felt like, to getting to where we would be able to open up even more, but now it feels like we're regressing a bit, and these trends are definitely troubling to us.
Lee County Health Department Administrator Kathy Ferguson Allen says they can't pinpoint a specific outbreak location. She says they've been seeing cases everywhere.
We're seeing cases across the board. We're seeing cases in several of our restaurants, offices, several in the schools.
She advises people to not let their guard down.
We need to remain vigilant right now, more than ever, so that we can try to contain this. When people test positive, even when they're waiting for their results, they should be staying home. If they do test positive, we ask that they wait to hear from us. We'll get to them as soon as we can, but they definitely need to stay home.
Ferguson Allen says they've seen some alarming trends.
Another thing we're seeing is increased severity of cases, and we're seeing some hospitalizations even in the younger groups. So this is no joke. We really need people to heed our warnings and work with us so that we can contain this.
Around 13% of the population has been fully vaccinated. The health department says they will focus on reaching out to community members and address any worries or concerns they have about the vaccine.
All right, thanks, Michelle. Bet on Beloit. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers approved the city's development plans for a massive casino and entertainment center. The Ho-Chunk Casino will be located near Willowbrook and Collie Roads. The $405 million design includes a casino, hotel, convention center, restaurants, and water park. Beloit city officials estimate the building will create 1,500 jobs and thousands of temporary construction jobs. This isn't the only casino set to break ground along I-90. We'll hear about the Ho-Chunk's race with Rockford tonight at 6.
A 2-hour police standoff at a Rockford housing complex ends peacefully. Officers were called to the Orton Keys apartments this afternoon. Investigators say Dontario Leach was wanted on outstanding warrants and refused to come out. Officers were able to safely escort a woman and children outside. Police then spoke to Leach using a PA system, cell phone, and through windows to convince him to surrender. Investigators say rain made the situation slightly dangerous.
He had climbed out onto the roof of the apartment, and it's slippery at that time, and we didn't want anybody to get hurt, so we continued to talk to him. He climbed down off the roof and turned himself in without any incident.
Leach faces multiple criminal charges stemming from the standoff. His outstanding warrants include violating an order of protection and damage to property.
A plan to reduce criminal penalties for hard drugs is moving to the House floor for a potential vote. Supporters say sending drug addicts to prison doesn't help treat the addiction. Critics voiced concerns that taking jail time off the table might remove the incentive for addicts to get help. This plan would not entirely decriminalize certain drugs. For example, if police catch someone with up to 3 grams of heroin, fentanyl, or meth, they'd get a Class A misdemeanor instead of a felony. The same for 5 grams of cocaine or 40 pills of oxycodone or LSD.
I don't agree these are low levels. When I think of small amounts, I certainly don't think of those levels.
But instead of sending them to public health or behavioral health to help them with the addiction, our current system sends them to county jails or in some cases to prison.
Under the new law, people currently in jail for hard drugs could petition the court and ask for a lighter sentence. A Rockford nonprofit that assists the homeless community needs your help. Carpenter's Place is asking for donations of new shoes. The organization's hosting a foot care service event on Holy Thursday. This is video of a past event. Podiatry residents from OSF will wash the feet of homeless guests and trim their nails. Guests will also be given a pair of shoes and socks. Head to mystateline.com for donation information.
Start practicing your swing. Golf season is back. Now that spring is here, Rockford golf courses are starting to open. Sandy Hollow welcome back to golfers today. Sinisippi set to open Friday, and Ingersoll and Aldine will resume play next week. Tee times can be reserved 2 weeks in advance using golfrockford.org.
If you have boxes of old trading cards gathering dust in your basement, it might be time to dig them out.
After the break, local hobby shops say the pandemic's breathed new life into trading.
A gloomy but fairly mild Wednesday could be followed by another rainy day tomorrow. I will have all the latest on this approaching storm system coming up in the forecast. Stay with us.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Sports Director Scott Lever, and meteorologist Kevin Doom.
Over the course of the pandemic, many people used extra free time to pick up a new hobby.
And believe it or not, trading cards saw a resurgence in popularity. Ari Bruckman shares how that's led to a business boom for small shops. Ari.
Eric and Mimi, since the pandemic began, sports trading cards have seen their value increase exponentially. 2 local card shop owners say they've witnessed this firsthand.
Yes, you would be in line to get the first shipment, yes.
Stuck inside during the pandemic, some people look to pick up a new hobby like sports card trading.
Well, it started with the big dance with the Jordan and Bulls stuff and just kind of trickled into that.
Matt Jennings owns Rockford Coin and Stamp. He tells me the hottest cards on the market vary on which sport is in season. Right now, it's the NBA.
The higher end stuff, you know, Jordan rookies, LeBron James rookies, Kobe Bryant rookies.
In fact, there's such a boom recently, Northside Sports Breaks just opened in November. Manager Zach Kelly says some of his customers are actually pulling money out of the stock market and putting it into trading cards.
The market has gone crazy, and guys see a good chance to make big money, you know, just like stocks. Anybody gets into stocks, they're putting stocks into certain players. For example, Luka Doncic, a one-of-one logo man from Flawless, literally sold for $4.6 million.
Kelly's advice for anyone looking to get into trading sports cards, chase the right players.
A lot of guys are paying big money for Ja Morant, Zion Williamson. Chase the lower guys. Chase the guys that you see that could potentially be those guys that aren't worth as much money.
During lockdown, some bigger stores put limits on the number of trading packages you could buy. Some people even said they were put on a list to be notified when the cards came back in stock. Eric and Mimi.
All right, thanks, Ari.
Rain continues to fall across the state line.
It will be a soggy next couple of days. Kevin Doom joins us after the break to let us know if the clouds will stick around through the weekend.
Now your first warm weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Doom.
Temperatures across the area made it back into the 50s today. A few spots even made it into the upper 50s, but now we're seeing temperatures as low as the mid 40s. 45 currently out in Galena, whereas it's 47 up in Monroe. A little bit warmer down here to the southeast. 53 in Rockford right now, 54 in DeKalb, and 52 for a current temperature up in Janesville. It's also a very breezy day today. We're still seeing sustained wind speeds upwards of around 20 plus miles an hour, 15-mile-an-hour winds right now in Rockford out of the southwest. We're even seeing gusts still upwards of 30 or even a little bit more than 30 miles an hour across many areas where we're seeing gusts upwards of around 40 miles an hour earlier today. Now here's a live look over the Poplar Grove Airport using a Mercy L Skytrack, where not all that long ago we were actually seeing a good amount of sunshine come through these clouds, but now these clouds have really started to fill in again. And that's because if we look at some water vapor satellite imagery, that storm system that came through yesterday brought us all that rainfall. That's starting to lift up to the north. That swirl that you see up there lifting up to our north. Some dry air was able to be introduced to the state line just for a brief period before we saw a little bit more moisture come on through and really help those clouds to fill in again over the past couple of hours. So that's where that little period of sunshine came on through. So if we take a look at our recent satellite and radar, despite all that cloud cover overhead, most of that rain is gone from earlier today. Still seeing a few very light showers down to the far southeast portions of the state line, but more rain could be on the way with a still developing storm system that's currently centered well down to our south, down in the Arklatex area, currently bringing a few showers parts of Texas and Oklahoma. Now let's take a look ahead with our futurecast. In the meantime, we're going to hang on to those mostly cloudy skies. Could very well see a few breaks in the clouds through the night and into tomorrow morning, but those clouds will start to fill in again ahead of this storm system through the day tomorrow. Now this storm could come as early as the afternoon. Will likely hold off until later on in the evening before we start to see any rain. But as the evening goes on through and through the overnight hours, we could see showers pretty much through the entirety of the night, and then heading into the early morning hours of Friday, there's a slight chance we could see a few snowflakes mixed in there as well before the storm system moves out of the state line. We'll get a little bit of clearing in our cloud cover through midday on Friday. Now you may have noticed with this futurecast, we didn't see a whole lot of rain pop up here through the state line. That's because the track of this storm system isn't very well agreed upon among models, and therefore neither is the rainfall totals. You can see totals anywhere from around nearly half an inch of rain here in Rockford to the rain missing us altogether. Now, despite this disagreement in our rainfall totals, the one thing is fairly certain, that's the higher totals will be found to areas down to the southeast and the lighter totals up to the northwest. Now, I don't think the rain is actually going to miss us altogether, as some models were suggesting, but I don't think we're going to see all that much rain. This rain likely won't be very widespread, probably more on the scattered side. Now tonight, temperature is going to drop into the middle to upper 30s. Conditions going to remain dry, but that cloud cover is going to hang overhead through the night tonight. We're back in the 50s tomorrow, but it's going to be a little bit cooler, likely lower 50s with that chance of rain moving through later on in the day. In fact, lower to middle 50s is going to be pretty consistent here all the way through the end of the week and into the weekend. We do see another chance for a little bit of rain come Saturday. 60s are expected to make a return to the state line early next
next week.
It's nice to see there's not a huge up and down in temperatures.
Right.
Thank you, Kevin.
Scott's in next to talk sports. He says Ice Hogs fans might be taking for granted some of the great hockey talent that comes through our city.
And an NHL official loses his job over a comment he blurted out over a hot mic. Scott weighs in on whether he deserved the punishment.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Lever.
Rockford has certainly become an entryway into the National Hockey League since the Ice Hogs became affiliated with the Blackhawks. Now, 128 players have moved on from the Ice Hogs into the NHL. Last night, forward Mackenzie Entwistle became the 128th when he made his NHL debut with the Blackhawks. He skated in 12 shifts and had just over 6 minutes of ice time. He took 2 shots and did not score. Entwistle is the 97th Ice Hogs player to make his NHL debut with the Blackhawks. The other 31 made their NHL debuts with other teams. These numbers underscore how fortunate we are here in Rockford to see some extremely talented players perform. We know on any given year that at some point half the guys on the team are probably going to put on an NHL sweater at some point in the future. I think we sometimes take that for granted. Certainly most of these Ice Hogs who make it will be role players or only have a cup of coffee in the NHL. Few of them will turn out to be big-time stars, but some of them will approach stardom. I mean, think Corey Crawford, right? Or Nicholas Hjalmarsson. Now, if only this pandemic would pass so we could all get back to watching these guys play in person at the BMO. The big story of the day in the National Hockey League involves a referee. Tim Peel has been banned from officiating any NHL games ever again. Here he is making a call in a game last night between the Red Wings and the Predators. His crime? He was caught on a hot mic as the TV broadcast was going to a commercial saying that he wanted to call a penalty on the Predators. It was right after he called tripping on the Predators' Victor Arvidsson on this play. And John Merrill of the Red Wings did go down on the ice, but replays showed it was mostly a flop and not worthy of being a penalty called. Anyway, Peel did call it a penalty and then moments later uttered the words that cost him his job. The NHL, no other choice. No league can tolerate officials who carry a grudge against a team or a player. The best officials keep their emotions in check and simply call the games as they see them. That's not easy to do when you're talking about human beings and their emotions. I credit referees and officials in all sports who are able to restrain themselves and don't hold grudges. I'm pretty sure I couldn't do it. That's my take. We'll be right back.
Let's have a look at our interactive radar, sponsored by Rockford Auto Glass and More. Had a few light showers move through earlier on today, and most of the area is dry, but we do see another chance of rain move on through tomorrow, particularly tomorrow evening and through the overnight hours. Temperatures tomorrow in the lower 50s, lower to middle 50s, in fact, are where we're going to find our highs through the end of the weekend. Another chance for a little bit of rain come Saturday. No thunderstorms expected in the near future. Good amount of sunshine through the rest of the week and into the early part of next week as well. And temperatures could potentially get back up into the 60s for at least one day, hopefully a couple of days there, with another storm system coming on through early next week, bringing us a chance for even more rain.
Not too bad at all. Thanks, Kevin.
And thank you for spending a little of your time with us. Stay safe.